You guys have no idea how excited I am to make this video. Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you've been keeping up with new releases and what's going on in the beauty space lately, you may know what this video is going to be about, or you looked at the title. I forget you can do that. But you may also be able to guess based on my attire and the presence of a dark red beverage, suspiciously resembling blood, that today we're going to be talking about the ColourPop Twilight Collection. As soon as I saw this collection was coming out, as soon as they started teasing the collection, in fact, I lost my mind. I've talked about this before on my channel. I'm a little bit of a sucker for the IP collabs that ColourPop does. I bought the Harry Potter one, the Star Wars one, the Avatar: The Last Airbender one, all that jazz. But really, truly, deeply, my greatest love always was Twilight. I was a Twilight kid. I think I read the books when I was 10 or 11. I was crazy hooked. And now I'm a Twilight adult. So, of course, as soon as I saw this collection was coming out, I knew I had to have it. I was sitting on the website right when it launched. I threw full collection into my cart and checked out in like 2.5 seconds. I heard it sold out really, really quickly, and that sucks. But I'm very excited to show you guys what I picked up from this collection. I think they did such an amazing job capturing the essence of the first movie. A lot of people were disappointed with the collection because they felt like it wasn't really representative of Twilight. I, as a diehard Twilight fan, could not disagree more. I think they captured the essence very specifically of the first movie absolutely perfectly. So I couldn't be happier with the collection. I cannot wait to show it to you and put it on my face. So without any further ado, let's get into this try on. I am so stoked. So I'm going to be showing you guys the full ColourPop Twilight collection. I did manage to pick up the whole thing, but as you can see, my eyes are noticeably bare. So of course, we're going to be starting with the thing that I think everybody was the most excited about, but was also kind of divisive. The Twilight eyeshadow palette. This outside packaging kind of confused me because this is not the vibe of the palette or of the first movie, literally at all. I think this is kind of the vibe that people were expecting though, like the gray and the red and all of that. And here's my thing. I think that would have been Vampire, but it wouldn't have been Twilight. This is Twilight. This captures the first movie absolutely perfectly. And we have this gorgeous packaging and this color story. I love it so much. It's got the scene from the movie, of course, it's got the meadow scene, and then we have this color story that I think is perfect. Kind of a running joke among Twilight fans is that the first movie has this blue filter over it. When you compare it to the other 4 movies, it's kind of jarring how blue tinted everything in that movie is. And so I think this is absolutely perfect. So you have that nod to the blue, and then you also have several greens in this palette. And that is also a nod to how much greenery is in the film, which is kind of a nod to a part of the book where Bella says of Forks, Washington, that she hates how green it is and she wishes it was more brown like Phoenix. So I think they did an excellent job. Obviously, you have the incredibly glittery, sparkly shades, which, of course, vampires sparkle, so you have to have those. And I don't know, I know a lot of people kind of had mixed opinions on this palette, but I think they nailed it. So I'm really excited to come up with a look with it. I have not played with this yet. So before we get into the look, though, I'm going to go ahead and swatch out the whole palette for you guys so you can get kind of an idea what the colors look like. So I'm going to swatch the palette row by row. I'm going to show you all of the different colors in the palette, and I'm going to tell you the shade names because I also love the shade names. I think they did a great job naming them as well. So this is the first row of the palette. As you can see, we have a couple of ultra glittery shades in this row. This top one up here is kind of a silvery blue. It's called Edward, which I think is perfect. You have this light matte blue shade that's called Unconditionally, obviously from the line Unconditionally and Irrevocably in Love with Him. Then you have this silvery shimmer shade that's called Prom Night, which of course is an important scene in the film. This beautiful kind of bluish purpley glitter shade, which is called Immortal. Duh. And then this kind of softer, icy white with kind of a silvery gray base to it is called Ice Cold, which of course, your skin is pale white and ice cold, right? So that is the first row of the palette, very frosty and icy and glittery. So moving on to the second row of the palette, which I think is actually my favorite. These are the colors. First, we have this kind of taupey brown shade called Say It Out Loud, which of course is the classic line from the scene where she confronts him about being a vampire. We have this more satiny kind of blue shade with a purpley base called the Cullens. This, I think, might be my favorite shade in the palette. It's called Lion and Lamb, which of course is from that classic scene in the meadow, which is printed on the palette. It's this amazing, almost multi-chrome shade. It doesn't really show that on camera, but it's got this shift to an almost reddened black base with the beautiful green shimmer over the top. I love this shade. It's incredible. Then we have this almost teal green shade called 17, which of course is how old Edward is and will be forever. And then this taupey shimmer kind of shade called Moonlit. So that's the second row. I absolutely love it. And then finally, we have the third row of the palette. Here are those shades. Starting from the top, we have this really, really dark, almost blackened forest green called Impossibly Fast, which Bella describes Edward as impossibly fast and strong. This brown shade is actually called Bella, and I think that is such a cool touch because in the book, Bella actually says when Edward is kind of grilling her with a bunch of questions about herself that her favorite color is brown, and then they made the color Bella a brown shade, which I think was well thought out. This beautiful, like, bluish gunmetal shade is called Irresistible. This kind of denim blue shade is called Irrevocably. And then this is a matte black with sparkles in it called Forever Young. So I'm sure this comes across, but I am obsessed with the palette. I think they did an incredible job with the color story. And the formula really feels like it's gonna hold up to ColourPop's other palettes, but we have to put it to the test and do an eye look to find out. So let's see what we can come up with. I already know that I wanna use that Lion and Lamb shade. I just think it's so unbelievably gorgeous. I don't normally use shades like that, so this could kind of turn into a train wreck, but we're gonna figure it out together. Trying to decide if I wanna commit to the full green look or do neutrals in the crease and use that as like the dramatic lid shade. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do a neutral crease and then pop that dark green on the lid to really kind of be the statement color. So I'm gonna start by taking a larger, fluffier brush and taking the Say It Out Loud shade and just using that as a transition. By the way, I did prime my eyes with my beloved Ulta Beauty Matte Primer, so I'm giving the shadows the absolute best shot. This shade actually goes on a lot more gray than it looks in the pan, and I think that that's gonna make the look kind of a little bit more cohesive, so I like that. Like ColourPop's other shadows, it goes on beautifully, blends like a dream, it's buildable. Everything I like about ColourPop's formula. Next, I'm gonna take a smaller crease brush and I'm gonna use this deeper brown shade, Bella, to deepen up the crease. By the way, while I'm sure I don't need to say this to you guys because my audience is absolutely amazing and I love you, I am gonna put it out there that if anybody in the comments is mean about Twilight or liking Twilight or people who like Twilight, I am gonna delete your comments because I went through a phase of my life where I insisted that I hated it and could not be convinced that it was anything other than utter trash. And that wasn't because I actually hated it. It was because everybody said that and I felt so ashamed that I liked it so much that I just kind of overcompensated by doing that. And I think that happens with a lot of things that especially young girls tend to like. I think they get a lot of flack for liking, you know, girly things. And I, as an adult, have fully embraced my love of Twilight and all of its super embarrassing paranormal romance cringiness. And if that bothers you, you don't have to watch. Thanks. I know that's not my audience, though. My audience isn't like that, so. You guys are cool. You guys are probably Twilight fans. So I actually really like how that's going on so far. I feel like that brown is not obnoxiously pigmented when you first apply it, but it's very buildable and you can get it to this rich kind of smoky place. So I don't want to go too crazy with the mattes just to start because I am using kind of a deeper dramatic lid shade. So I'm going to stop there and then I'm going to take that gorgeous Lion and Lamb shade. I mean, really, like looking at it from this angle, it's literally got like a purpley flip to it. It's so cool. So I'm going to just put that all over my lid and we're going to see how crazy it looks. I don't care. I'm too excited. This is so beautiful. Here we go. Ready? I don't hate it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So first things first, I love that shade so much. Because it has that little bit of a blackened base, I'm going to take a little smudge brush and just blend it out into that crease color just a little bit, just to make things look a little more cohesive. Yeah, so I love that. I love that. I don't normally wear dark shimmers on the lid, but I love how that looks. It's Twilight, it's drama, why not, you know? I thought about using one of the glitters on top, but the glitters kind of have a base to them, and I don't want to disrupt that green because it's just so gorgeous. So I'm just going to layer up even more green. Oh my God, I love the punchiness of that color. That is absolutely so beautiful. This is so outside of a normal look for me, you guys, and I am currently obsessed with it. I'm gonna fix a little bit of the outer corner and just make sure they're blending together well. I want to try this ice cold shade in the inner corner. I'm not sure how well it'll build. It's not a super punchy, vibrant shimmer, but we're gonna give it a try. Let's see. Oh, wow. That went a lot better than I thought it would. Goodness. Well, that looks beautiful. I am legitimately impressed. I really like how this look is turning out. To finish it off, I want to do my lower lash line, and just for fun, just to tie things together, I'm going to take this really dark green shade and really smudge it out on the lower lash line and see if I can get a little bit of that green pigment to come through. It might just look black, which I feel like with this look is okay, but we'll see what happens. Just take a really small amount on the brush. So I added that to the lower lash line, and I would say you can tell it's green if you squint. That is one thing I think I might improve on in this palette. I wish that green pulled more green, because green is such like a elemental color in the Twilight movie. I wish it was a little bit more green. And then this shade 17 is also another one of the greens, but it kind of pulls almost this tealy kind of shade. So I wish we had more true green. But I love how this look turned out. I think it looks awesome. I'm gonna pop on some mascara and then we will move on to some of these other products. So I popped on some of my e.l.f. Big Mood mascara, which I think really completed the look. Let's talk about some of these other products. Let's chat about the eyeliners. So I was gonna do eyeliner with this look, but I feel like it would have been a little bit too much. So I didn't, but I will swatch them for you and tell you about them anyway. So with this collection, ColourPop launched 3 of the graphics liners, which are the eyeliners that have the little pot. You can dip the little felt tip in and use it to create lots of different colors of graphic eyeliner. I actually have some packaging I can show you of one of the ones from the Twilight collection, because unfortunately my liner in the shade Forever came empty. Not the box, the container. I don't know how that happened, but we're gonna roll with it. This is probably the color I would have wanted to use with this look anyway, so that's really unfortunate. It's supposed to be this like metallic forest green liner, but mine came like this. It's blank. So that's cool, and this is empty. So that's really neat. I'll just buy it whenever it restocks. I'm not that worried about it. I love the packaging. It is so cute. It has all the little quotes on it. At the bottom it says, "He's totally gorgeous, obviously. Say it out loud. Vampire. I know what you are." And then at the top, they kind of keep to themselves. So adorable packaging. I absolutely love that. I do have the other 2 shades, and I will show you swatches of those. So the graphics liner formula doesn't always go on the most opaque. I have a couple of other shades from their other collections, and so what I find you kind of need to do to get full pigmentation from these is draw a thin line, wait for it to dry, and then layer on more over it. If that sounds like more work than you want to do, that's totally understandable. I just wouldn't really recommend this formula for you. So I am going to show them like that as swatches just because I think it does the most justice, but do be aware they go on a little bit sheerer than I think I would prefer in a liquid liner. It's not my ideal liquid liner formula, but I wanted the whole collection, so I bought it. First, I'm going to show you the shade Coven. This is a black with glitter in it. So just drawing on one line, it looks like this. Certainly not the most black. And I don't think you can really see the glitter very well. So, you know, if you're looking for a black liquid eyeliner, it's not my first recommendation. And then the other shade that I have is Vampire, which is kind of a metallic wine red burgundy type of shade. So again, I'm just going to do one line. This one gets sheer before you even really get to the end of the line. So these probably not their best work. I am gonna wait for them to dry and then put a layer on top to see if that helps, but this is probably the thing I recommend the least from this collection in the interest of transparency. I am gonna pick up the third eyeliner shade though because I have to have this whole collection. I'm sure you understand. So I did shake up Vampire and that helped a little bit. So the top swatch of Vampire was me trying to do 2 layers before I shook it up and it was still just kind of liquidy. The bottom one is 1 layer after I shook it up. So it's still not super opaque, but it is an improvement. So if you do end up buying these, just keep in mind, shake them up really well before you use them. I will probably still use them. I like them. The packaging is the cutest thing ever. But, you know, I am biased. So, you know, objectively, would I recommend them? Probably not. But if you're a Twilight fanatic, yeah, because it's so cute. Let's talk about something I will recommend wholeheartedly with my entire chest. The Super Shock highlighters. Oh my god, I already love this formula. This is a formula that has been tried and true for me, and they brought out 2 shades for this collection that I think are absolutely precious. So this first one is the one that I'm just gonna swatch. I'm not gonna wear this one because I don't think it really goes with my look. It's the shade Meadow. Again, you've got little quotes on the packaging. They put "Hang on tight, spider monkey," which is hysterical. They put, "I'm not scared of you, so the lion fell in love with the lamb," like very cute little Twilight quotes. Meadow is adorable. It has a very pretty, like, transparent base, but it's got, like, purpley blue shiftiness to it. I'm gonna turn down the light because I think it helps see shifts a little bit better. There, now you can really see how purple that is. So you can see the base completely disappears, and then you can see the really pretty, like, purpley shift. I think it's super cute, and I'm definitely going to be using this one for my more fun looks. But the shade I'm going to be using today is called Vampire Skin. And if you know Twilight lore, then you know the vampires sparkle in the sun. So of course, this is like a silver white highlighter with these silver and blue sparkles. It looks insane. It has the same just delicious creamy formula as every other Super Shock highlighter I've ever tried. That one is Vampire Skin. And that is what I'm gonna put on my face right now. Very excited. So I find that Super Shock highlighters apply different ways with different instruments. So on one side of my face, I'm gonna do it with my finger, which is a favorite of mine. And then I'm gonna use this kind of densely packed brush on the other side, and we'll kind of compare. I just barely tap my finger in there because these things are pigmented. So let's see how this looks. Ooh. Ooh, she's shiny. Wow. How about that? I love it. It's super icy. So if you're not into that, maybe steer clear, but I am into that. Let's try it with this brush. It's definitely a lot less opaque, which is kind of my experience with using brushes with Super Shock highlighters, but you can still definitely see the shine. So I find that it's a very versatile formula, and you can kind of mix and match and get lots of different looks. So this is definitely my favorite of the two highlighters, but I think both of them are super cute, and I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of them because the Super Shock highlighter formula is just top tier. Before we get into the lip products, I do want to show you one of the products I think also everybody was very excited about, the Sol Shimmering Dry Body Oil in the shade Like Diamonds, which is how Bella describes Edward's skin when he's sparkling in the sun. So of course, they gave us a sparkly body oil. This is my first of these Sol body oils. I've been kind of wanting to try them for a while, but I never had a really excellent reason to until now. So this is essentially just kind of a milky white oil with these white and kind of blue sparkles. Woo. It's very thin textured. I'm just gonna rub it into the back of my hand and kind of down my wrist, and we'll see what it looks like. I think these are supposed to kind of dry down so they don't transfer onto your clothes and stuff, and you can wear them all over. I do look shiny. I would say the sparkles aren't super intense. They're pretty tiny particles, but you do definitely get a glow. So currently it's, you know, the middle of January, so I'm probably not wearing this all over, but in the summer, I'm gonna wear this to the beach. I'm gonna slather this on my collarbones, on my shoulders. I'm gonna put it everywhere because, hello, look at it. I want to look like a vampire in the sunlight, so now I can get that look. It smells really nice, by the way, if that's something that worries you. It's got a pretty subtle fragrance. Like, I feel like you smell it stronger when you first squirt it out, but once you rub it in, it's a little bit subtler. I rubbed some of the oil kind of residue away, and I feel like I still kind of have a glow to the skin. You can see kind of comparatively. So I'm into it, and I'm going to use it, and I think that's what matters. So finally, we have the lip products. With this collection, they also launched 3 of the Luxe lip oils, another formula I had never tried until now, but that I had heard very good things about. So there are 3 of them. Let me show them to you. They all have their own cardboard packaging, which I think is literally so precious. This one is Team Jacob, which, if you are, I was going to say you're not welcome here, but I don't want to be mean. I'm side-eyeing you heavily. I'm also kind of side-eyeing the color choice for this lip oil because it's black with glitter in it. I don't really know how to use a black lip oil, but we're gonna play around with it and see. I didn't show you the cardboard packaging. It has a little wolf, which I do think is precious. And then on the side, it has a quote from Jacob in the movie, and it says, "Really, it's just like an old scary story." So I do think that's actually adorable. So then we have Team Edward. Edward Cullen was the first love of my life. The packaging on this one has the Cullen family crest on it. And the quote on the side says, "What if I'm not the hero? What if I'm the bad guy? Because I love my angsty boy." This one is also kind of interesting. It is a blue, like this dark, rich navy blue with sparkle in it. It's actually so much bluer in person. This one looks way similar to the Jacob one, but I swear this one is so blue. You can kind of see it there up at the top. It's super blue. And then we have the one that I think I'm going to get the most use out of. This one is Belle's, which of course is Bella's nickname from her dad. It has her truck on the front, and the quote on the side says, "Of course, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him." A classic. And this one is this rich blood red kind of color. Gorgeous. So I will swatch all of these on the back of my hand, and then I kind of want to see if I can try all of them on and actually make a wearable look out of them. So let me swatch them out, I'll show them to you, and then we'll play around with them. So here are the shades swatched out. From top to bottom, it is Team Jacob, Team Edward, and Belle's. The Team Edward one is actually nowhere near as blue as it looks in the tube. I think it's going to go on the lips pretty clear, but we're going to see. They smell fantastic. They smell like fruity candy. And I have tried these on the lips already, and they are so thin and comfortable. I totally see why people like these because they're very comfy on the lips. So let's play around with some of these funky colors and see what we can come up with. I brought some lip liners I thought we might be able to incorporate with these. First things first, why not? Let's just jump into it. I am going to try to use Team Jacob. So because it's black, I thought maybe let's do kind of a cool tone brown and see if it just kind of makes it deeper. So I brought my ColourPop lip liner in the shade Ashton, which is just a really cool toned brown shade. And I'm going to use this. I'm probably going to put it all over the lips and fill my lips in, and then just kind of use this to top it and see how that looks. Let's play. Let's see what happens. So there is just the shade Ashton. Please excuse my absolutely abysmal application. It needs to be sharpened so badly. Let's see what happens when we top it with Team Jacob. I don't know if I'm gonna love this or hate it, but we'll find out. Wait a minute. It's kind of giving grunge. I don't hate that. It's giving 90s. It's giving Maybelline Gone Greige. That is so interesting. Oh God, that application's atrocious. I'm so sorry. I kind of want to try it with another one of the lip liners because now I'm really curious what it would do to another shade. So I'm going to. Let's see. Let's see what happens if I use it with a pink. I also brought my Kokie lip liner in the shade Natural. So let's see what happens if I use it with something pink. So there is the shade Kokie Natural, and let's try Team Jacob on top of that as well. Ooh, it kind of turned it purple. Ooh, that's kind of cool, you guys. I'm gonna play with this more. It's like a color changing lip oil. Wow. Okay, I like that more than I thought I was going to. I was super skeptical about the black lip oil, but now I really want to combine it with all of my lip liners and see what colors it turns stuff. Up next, I want to try Team Edward, which is the blue one. So let's see, what lip liner do I want to pair this one with? I think I'm going to try this kind of cool tone pink MAC lip liner in the shade Soar, and we're going to see if it turns like purple. Again, excuse the abysmal application. I actually really like that color all by itself, but let's see what happens when we top it with Team Edward. Oh my gosh. So I think in the spots where it kind of built up a lot, like on the edges of my lips, and when I was first applying it, it looked pretty blue and it turned the lips kind of purple. But blended out, it really does just pull clear. Like, I think that's pretty close to the color that the lip liner originally was. It could be a hint cooler, but it's definitely pretty close to a clear lip oil. I like it though. It's comfy, it's cute, it's Edward, I love him. So this is good. So if you're looking for the more approachable option, the better option, Team Edward is the better option. And last but not least, the one I've been really excited about, the shade Bells. I look crazy right now. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm going to apply this over my Sephora Collection lip liner in the shade Hot Sauce. It's kind of a warm brown color just because I thought it sounded like a fun combo. Let's see if it is. So that's what Hot Sauce looks like on its own. Let's see what it looks like with Bells on top. I think it definitely pulls more red than it did before, but it's subtle. I've been into red glosses lately, so I can definitely see myself using this a lot. I think it's really cute. I think that's the one I'm gonna go ahead and leave on because you guys, that is the end of this video. That was the ColourPop Twilight collection. Let me know what you think. What do you think of the collection? Were you disappointed or did you love it like me? Or did you get your hands on it? Are you trying to get your hands on it? And what do you think of Twilight in general? I need to hear from all of my fellow Twihards in the comments. I haven't said the phrase Twihard since probably 2010. If you liked this video, please leave a like down below. And if you want to see more from me, please hit subscribe. I would absolutely love to have you. On that note, we did hit 500 subscribers, which is so amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you. So until the next one, bye you guys.